Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about what not to do when promoting your music. So the reason I made this video is because I'm someone who receives a lot of press releases and I receive a lot of spam. I get a lot of people trying to promote their music my way, which is fine, more than okay with that. But there are some common, what I consider mistakes that artists make when they're doing that. So I'd like to cover those in this video because they're actually really easy to fix. And they're just a few things that could really make a difference when promoting your music. Okay, so the first one is superlatives. This one is huge. Okay, so when I receive marketing material, when I receive press releases from artists or managers or publicists, they are often just packed full of superlatives. So examples of superlatives are like powerhouse or legendary or up and coming. Any of these kind of self-aggrandizing kind of terms or words that are trying to make you feel a certain way about the music or about the artist, they got to go, okay? Because the person who is reading these press releases or reading this marketing copy that you've created, it's up to them, really. It's up to them how good your stuff is, like how good your music is. It's not necessarily your job to tell them how to feel about your music. And it could be a huge turnoff. And some of these words are just so commonly reoccurring that even many journalists and many bloggers will happily shout about it on Twitter, saying to everyone to stop doing that because it just doesn't work. Okay, so avoid using superlatives when you're writing your press releases or when you're writing your bio or your press copy. Stick with the facts and stick with your story. It's all about your story, really. You know, it's not about trying to promote yourself. It's not necessarily about that, okay? So obviously we talk about promoting yourself when we talk about music promotion, but to promote yourself isn't to promote yourself. It's just about, you know, doing what needs to be done and telling your story in order for your music to promote itself, okay? So you don't need to tell them how good you are. They'll listen to it and find out for themselves. If you're good, you're good. If you're not, that's fine, okay? But it's not for you to tell them how to feel. So stick with the facts and stick with your story. And when you're writing to people, when you're writing to bloggers or journalists or whatever, just be humble. Like, just tell your story. Why did you make this music? Okay? Don't try and convince them how good you are because it's just not your job to do that. The next one is name dropping. So again, this is kind of another common mistake that I find. Because industry people, they're going to know that you worked with that person just so that you could name drop them all over the place. And again, it's just another huge turnoff. So don't be name dropping. Don't be like, oh, we worked with this person or we worked with the legendary that person or this person has worked with this legendary person. Don't do that. Again, it's all irrelevant. Okay, you should be talking about you and your story and your music. Not the people that you necessarily pay to collaborate with or anything like that, just for the sake of name dropping. You want to come from a real humble place with this stuff, okay? Obviously, if you collaborate with some of your peers and that's a legit collaboration, that's totally fine because you're promoting them as well. That's totally cool. But when you're writing your copy, when you're writing your marketing materials, don't write it from a place of like trying to build authority with these people. You're an artist, okay? So your job is to make art and to promote your art artistically to people who appreciate art, not as someone who's just trying to build authority or trying to sound like someone who is legit, quote unquote. And the next one is spamming. Okay, so this is definitely a bit of a personal gripe. I get people spamming links to me in every medium that I have on the internet. But the good thing is there's a fine line between content and spam, okay? And that line is easily crossed either way. And the main difference really is building a bit of rapport. Okay, so what I mean by that is like no one is going to care that you have a music link if they don't know you. They're just not going to do that. So if you want people to care, you have to care about them first and not try and steal their time. People are busy and time is a non-renewable resource. If you want to garner someone's attention, you have to take yourself out of the equation and consider who they are and what makes them tick. The good news is that's pretty easy to do these days, especially with like bloggers and journalists. They're all like quite active on Twitter. They're all quite active on social media in general and broadcasting who they are as a person and their values. So you should start by engaging with them in these areas. So like dive into Twitter, engage with these people. If there's someone that you want to get on your side, engage with them on the internet. Like go on Twitter, engage with them. Because every time you engage with them, you kind of appear in their notifications. You add an impression every single time. And if you keep doing that over time and you're building that rapport, you're building that impression with them, when you do send them that email, it's just going to increase the chances of them opening the email and also increase the chances of them caring that you've sent them an email in the first place. Okay, so definitely build rapport with people. Don't go around spamming people. Another way to kind of get around this as well is ask permission. This piece is huge. Like I've done this loads of times. I will reach out to someone. If I don't already have a relationship with them, I'll reach out to them and say, hi, I really like your blog. I have some music that might be a good fit for your audience. Are you accepting music submissions at the moment? Or ask them what is the best way to submit music. The good thing about that is you've asked permission and they'll be very grateful to that as opposed to just spamming your link to them. Okay, so this video is all about just some common mistakes, some common errors that are easily remedied when promoting your music online. Hope that was useful and I'll see you in the next video.